10, please.
All across the nations, all around the world, women are longing to be free. No longer in the shadows, forced to stay behind, but side by side in true equality. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace. Women can't be silent when all around the world people hurt and hungry children cry. We'll sing out loud for justice and development and all the rights of all the people are. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace. Women now are working to build a better world, where the love of peace can rest on every shore. When men lay down their weapons and learn to love and share, and people want to bring an end to war. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never, never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development, and peace.
Thank you very much. Women in the house, let's give ourselves a round of applause. Please, let's clap for ourselves. Thank you very much. I will now call upon the chairperson, Mrs. Oyade Olatoboso, to give us the short welcome address. Thank you.
Short address. Thank you. You said I should give a short address. Short address. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today is the second day, the celebration of annual Law Week. And then if there's anyone that is amazed, that is appreciative here, that is me. And first and foremost, I want to return all the glory to the Almighty God, the one that says and stands by the word, by His word, the one that said, He said, "Go," said, "I will be with you." Say, "Even when you pass through the waters, you will not be drowned." Say, "You will pass through fire, but you will not be burned." So I want to return all the glory to Him for making this happen. And I want to appreciate everyone for honoring our invitations. We can come here and then the hall is empty. So what will be the essence of all that we have put together? We have honored us. You have honored the God in our lives. God too will honor you all in the name of Jesus. I want to appreciate, I think she should be my great grandmother. Ms. Odunayo, no, she's the grandmother. Ms. Odunayo is the mother. That's the person of Adefunke Anoma, a former chairperson of Fida Ekiti. Thank you so much. Your encouragement, I do not take for granted. Magistrate all along, don't retired, but I tell you, not tired. She's starting a new phase of her life and she's doing great. She's a one-time to an executive of this great branch. I think you were the treasurer. Yes, thank you very much for coming. The ESCO members, the secretary of NBA is here. Thank you so much, my brother Tayo. Please, can you step forward? Please step forward. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. The students from Christ Girls Secondary School, you have come again. You will not go empty-handed. You will have materials that can assist you to build better lives, even in your studies and even when you leave the school. Thank you so much. Our NSCDC people, thank you. So we want to start, like they told me to do, they said short. And I think I've exceeded short. So I think I should drop the mic. But before then, I want to appreciate Dr. Ajiboye. Thank you for always being there. If I tell you the story of how I hijacked this woman, my God, God, that's how God does these things. He arranges people when you're on a journey of destiny. I didn't know her before. Actually, she came to solicit me from Fida. I said, Madam, from the way you are speaking, you can be one of our discussants in the fourth commercial kidney topic. And I just gave it to her. And there she is. She's a Dr. Babalola from Foye. Thank you so much, ma'am. And of course, Mrs. Nadebingpe online. We thank you. And you know we love you. Mwah. Thank you so much. So let's kick start. Glory be to God. Hallelujah.
Thank you very much for that short address, as you said it. Right now, we now go into the business of the day proper. Please join me to put our hands together as I call on Dr. Ajiboye to the lead speaker for today. Sorry. Mrs. Alade Jare, sorry, Doctor. Our secretary at Fida. She's the moderator for today's program. Please let's start together and welcome her as we go to take over the stage now. Thank you very much.
Good morning, great Fidans and all our invited guests. I especially recognize Fida Chairperson Emeritus, Magistrate Adefunke Anoma. Thank you very much, ma. Magistrate Aloma. Thank you very much, ma. So I welcome you all to this plenary session. The topic for today is stress management, mental health of women vis-a-vis demands at the income front. You will all agree with me that as women, we are engaged in a lot. We have our work, we are career women, we are mothers, we are guardians, we are babysitters. We do so many things at the same time. And even with all of these things, we still try to do our own, front, take care of the own front too. You agree with me that it is a lot to deal with. Today's plenary session is for us to understand how to manage this stress, the mental health of women, and how to really manage our mental health. We have the lead speaker here, Dr. Ajiboye. He's a clinical psychologist from Ekiti State University, the mental health department. And he's a friend of the house. Please let's clap for him. He's a friend of the house, and Dr. Ajiboye is someone that is very grounded in this topic. I'm sure we are going to have a swell time with him. Apart from that, he's also a clinical psychologist. I've said that before, an addiction and mental health therapist. Please let's give a round of applause for Dr. Ajiboye. And with me here on this other side is the very friendly Dr. Babalola Atinuke. I mean, she got into the hall and we felt her presence. She is a psychologist. She works in the Department of Guidance and Counseling of Federal University, Ekiti. Please pardon me. I mean, chairperson just hijacked you this morning to moderate this, so I'm trying to put my thoughts together. Please, Clap for Dr. Babalola Atinuke. And the virtual today is Mrs. Adebipe Oshinuga. She's also a friend of the house. She is a trauma care coach and head of Jazz Education Group. If you all remember, on the last mental health day that we had, Mrs. Adebimpe was here with Professor Merino to lecture us on trauma care. We have these three wonderful speakers today who will do justice to this topic. So we are going into the plenary in full. The lead speaker will be coming on stage, Dr. Ajiboye Adedotu, to give us his lecture. Please let's have a round of applause while he goes on stage.
Good morning, Fida, and the organizer of this program. We also appreciate Fida States for your unrelenting efforts. Thank God I'm not from stress management. So I think that's a test for me. So that will I be all the years. And when I was speaking yesterday, I said, don't even carry mental health issue the way Fida are carrying it. I can remember a year that you collaborate with our NGO, World Mental Health Day. That was about 2 years ago. We walked from here to House of Assembly some times ago. That's Fida also championed it. And all the time, talking about Fida, your activity also in SAC, I think it's worthy of, if I may, I think like you have given an award to Fida. The greatest organization in Ekiti supporting mental wellness. But I'm not here to just psychologize you. That is real because it has been consistent. It is something that you just did for a few days and you stop. But this has been consistent all the while. And the topic chosen today is something that is needed, highly needed in the world we have. And let me also say this, women are wonderful. When I entered this place today, I said, wow, I look at the decoration and I said, thank God for the touch of women. And that's why we cannot afford to lose you in the society. You are very important to us. And when you put a touch to something, it gets better and beautiful. Sorry, can I speak without? Do you hear my voice? Can I go with that? Okay. Because of the noise. Now, I'm to talk about stress management, mental health of women vis-a-vis demands at home front, workplace, and society. When I saw the topic, I said, wow, this is a PhD topic. And it's worth researching on. And it captures so many things. And I trust God to handle them. Now, what is our expectation? And I'm happy that young people are here, young ladies, young men, they are here, the middle age are here, everybody is here. And Mama also is here. So every age, at least, it cut across everybody. At the end of this presentation, the one I'm presenting now, we should be able to know the major sources of stress. That's number one. Number two, we should be able to learn how to cope with a stressful world. The world is stressful. That's no more in news. Economic stress, physical stress, financial stress, and all the likes. And number three, to prevent mental illness. One of the things that this topic we do today is to prevent mental illness. And last but not the least, to also promote our mental wellness. If you prevent mental illness, then mental wellness will be promoted. Now, let's start with the word stress. Stress is the body's response to any demand. And if you look at the topic that was given by Fida, demand from home front, demand from workplace, demand from society. So when you talk about stress, a demand is placed on you. Until we go to grave, demand will be placed on us, but we must manage them. Now, stress is body's response to any demand. It could be good demand, it could be bad demand. But we're going to look at those ones that are bad, which we must caution. Or challenge, whether physical, emotional, or mental. You could have physical demands on you, emotional demand based on what somebody said to you, mental demand, you are congested in your brain because there's workload, there's a lot of things you need to settle in your workplace or in your house. Maybe as you are even driving, what are we going to eat at home tonight? Mental torture, mental stress. So a demand, when those demands are being placed on you, then it can bring some changes in our body system. Now, it is a natural reaction that can be triggered by various factors known as stressors. Immediately a demand is placed on you, naturally, either you like it or not, there will be a response. There will be a natural reaction. Either the demand is positive or the demand is negative. For example, I'm going to bless you with 2 million. Or somebody lost 2 million. The first one, we place a positive demand. You'll be happy, you'll be joyful, you can even be dancing without drum. And that is positive. And endorphin will be secreted into your bloodstream, and at the same time, dopamine hormone. And that gives you a lot of comfort. For the second one, that's you lost 2 million. It will place a demand on you too, and cortisol hormone will be secreted, adrenaline hormone will be secreted. You can see now that when demands are placed on us, when they are good, the body reacts. There are physiological processes that take place in our system. The other one will produce pleasurable hormones, dopamine, and the other one, endorphins. But the other one will produce adrenaline or cortisol hormone. And when these are being produced, the latter one is highly dangerous to our mental health and to our physical health. When we get there, you will see. Now, fully, we should not just look at stress from a negative perspective. There are some stress that are positive. As I've said earlier, they call them eustress. But the one that is negative is called distress. And when this distress is overwhelming, it can lead to death. We have seen people that they didn't have any other thing. Stress killed them. Stress will not kill us. There are some people that stress led to cardiovascular disorder. And some could not just live with it and they died. So stress can bring about death. That is so poisonous, especially when it is negative, that we may not be able to cope with it. Now, next slide. The key aspect or effect of stress can be, we can look at it from this perspective: physiological responses to stress or to stressors, emotional responses to stressors, cognitive and behavioral responses. But I will stay with the first one because at times we don't think about that. You know, I have to stop listing. There are still some to list about the physical responses to stress. One is increased heart rate. It is not everyone that is having increased heart rate is having cardiovascular disorder. It could be as a result of stress. Elevated blood pressure. When you go to the hospital and they check your blood pressure, you may not really have hypertension. If you calm down, after 2 hours, your blood pressure get normalized. So we have some physical ailments that are stress-inducing. Now, rapid breathing, palpitation, muscle tension, and the release of stress hormone, as I've mentioned earlier, like adrenaline and cortisol, which may lead to ulcer. It's not every ulcer that is because you didn't eat in the morning. In fact, there are a lot of stress, unforgiveness, bitterness, all negative emotions. We produce adrenaline, we produce cortisol. And when these hormones are being produced, the way God created it in our system, they are not meant to be produced regularly. Please know that. For example, now, if your husband is a stressor, please, for me, that's some, hope I'm not too negative. We are here to educate ourselves. Please just understand what I'm saying. Now, and he comes home every day. There's no physical combat. But the moment you hear the horn of his car, there's a physiological process that goes on in your system. Number one, adrenaline will be secreted. Number two, cortisol will be secreted. Now, adrenaline, especially if you can remember biology in secondary school, I think the student here should be able to remember that. Adrenaline is supposed to be secreted for flight and fight. For example, if I see a snake coming towards me, the way God packaged our system, the adrenaline will be secreted from adrenal gland around this place. Then I will have energy. Even where I cannot jump, energy will come and I will jump the place. That hormone is not supposed to be a daily affair. So the moment you are exposed to stressors regularly, it can lead to a serious ailment. And that's why you go to hospital, they said, we have done MRI, we have done CT scan, we have done this, and they are not seeing anything. Because what is happening to that person is called somatoform disorder. It could come like ulcer, it could come like migraine, it could be like crawling sensation, it could be conversion disorder. Conversion disorder is that somebody will not be able to use his leg and his hand, paralyzed. You may think that is stroke, but when the people in internal medicine check the brain, they'll discover that every place is intact. And you must have been doing a lot of tests for months. Later, they will now say, please, let's refer to mental health. Because they have checked you physically, they can't see any physical defects. So what is responsible is psychological. And there's no amount of drugs or medication you take that will take it off. Because the genesis of it is psychological. And if there is no environmental manipulation, if the stressor is still there, even though you have reconditioned your mind that I want to be okay, but because the stressor is still there, then the problem continues. And that's why in one of our major therapy that we cannot just afford to do, we do family therapy. Because if you treat your patient and you neglect the family, you have not done a good job. You have just done about 65% of your job. Because that patient that is well, that's okay mentally, when he gets back home, somebody may disrupt the case again. So everybody must be on the same page. So there are also emotional responses, feelings of anxiety, irritability, sadness, of frustration. That's reactions we have to demands that is being placed on us. Cognitively, it could be difficult concentrating, negative thinking, forgetfulness. You'll discover that you are in example, you read, and everything you forgot. Stress. Now, the place responsible for memory, cognitive functioning is the cortex. Like executive functioning of an organization. They plan, they organize, what else again? Please, can you help me? When we say somebody is an executive officer of an organization, he does planning, he does organizing. Now, that's what we normally use to remember in school. Now, my cortex performed that role. Now, when that role is being performed, and there's a portion in the brain called limbic system. The limbic system it coordinates the emotional aspect of our system. And when that area is being affected, maybe by anxiety, maybe by aggression, maybe by bitterness, unforgiveness, or name them, the limbic system will send a signal. If I'm not going too biological. Now, the limbic system sends a signal to the cortex. Everything you have stored in the cortex will just fade away. For example, now, this is a pulpit. This is shaking. If this place, let's say this is the limbic system, this is the cortex, because there is a kind of distortion at the limbic system, it will also cause distortion because there are neurotransmitters, that are things that connect different aspects of the brain. It's not that those things are not there, but the body cannot process it. Okay? So that's why when we are worried, when we are confused, when we are hungry, whatever, you discover that the cortex may not be able to work. And this is one of the reasons, please, whatever it is that may be bringing stress, let's do something quickly about it. Then behavioral responses, you may not eat again, your sleep will be affected, and one thing is that when your sleep is being affected, that is not good. Because sleep, if the simplest definition I can give to sleep, sleep is a restorative process of our body. The moment you don't sleep, your body is not restored. As I'm talking to you now, I'm using some centers in my brain. I've been doing some stuff this morning. Now, it is expected that I restore those things I've lost. That's why when we get home in the evening, we get tired. And the next thing is for you to sleep. So when you don't sleep, wow, that can cause a lot of problems. Next slide. Okay. There are two sources of stress. Don't just look at outside and say, it's my husband, it's the government, it's Nigeria economy. Also, there are internal stressors. These are evidence-based assertion. It's not just to think about it. Researchers have shown that sources of stress are majorly two. It could be from your environment and it could be from yourself. Okay? Having known that, to the next slide. Now, WHO now says, what is mental health? And that's why I say I appreciate Fida that talks about mental health all the time. You know, because when you talk about mental health, to some people, they will be thinking disorder, madness. That's not mental health. Look at the international body, what they say about mental health. That's why I have to acknowledge them. I copied verbatim. This is WHO definition of mental health. Mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her abilities, that's number one, cope with the normal stresses of life. So WHO recognizes that there is stress. Hello? Till we go to break, there will be stress. If you see a place we can cure stress here, don't go there. You only thank God for your topic, for the topic, stress management. It cannot be cured. However, you can reduce it. You can manage it. Okay? Can work productively, that is, if you have good mental health, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. Can we pause a while and look at these 4 points? Number one, if they call me now, can I recognize my potential? Like students, as you are there, I mean, none is under 12 now. All of you are teenagers. If they ask you, why are you living? And you are doing like this, you can't give your life a definition. Such people are always stressed. Anybody, that's what the WHO says. I'm not even the one. The moment you cannot give your life a definition, you don't understand your ability, it can stress you. Because when they say, oh yeah, let's go and do pepper business, you rush there. Let's go and do pastor, you rush there. Oh yeah, it is academics, you go there. Because jack of all trades. You know, when I first got this definition some years ago, I was saying it doesn't look like what we see in mental health. We have to sit down with it. And I discovered that mental health is something that about everybody. If you don't know your role, your potential, it can stress you. So one of the things that we should take home today, we must be able to recognize, do I know where I'm living? My potentials. Because that will give you joy. Oh, I have strength here. Don't always prioritize your weakness. I can't do this. I can't do that. They say I can't do this. Why can't you recognize your potential? Number two, your ability, which is our focus today, you should be able to cope with the normal stress of life. So that suggests there are abnormal stress of life. Do we get it? Then the third one, can work productively. Maybe you are the type, before they gave you an assignment, within 30 minutes you are done. But now, 2 hours, 3 hours, you are still on the same assignment. That could be stress. Then the society enjoy you. You are relevant. The moment you call somebody and they look at your name and they allow you to ring and they didn't pick the phone, that suggests you too, you are passing through stress. And the person that wants to pick that phone said, this lady will stress me, this boy will stress me. You must be relevant in your society. Now, when you sit down with these 4 things, if you know your potential, if you manage normal stresses of life, you are working productively, and you are a blessing to your generation, automatically before you go to bed, you'll be so joyous. You'll be happy. You sleep. But the moment you are thinking that my Oga said, that work, I can't do it. He has been giving me queries since last week. You now be thinking low about yourself, low self-esteem will set in. I said, it's like, I'm not relevant. It's like, I'm not useful. It's like, then because of those negativity, it may affect your sleep. Or, why am I changing jobs from here to here? Why am I this, that? Will it be that I don't even know my bearing? Normal stress of life, everybody is driving. I drove, and because I drove, and I now feel tired. So, we should be able to look at ourselves from this four perspectives. If I were you, I did that for myself too. I will look at these four areas where I am not sure that I have it, I put negative. Where you are sure that you have it, put positive. So after this meeting, before you sleep today, ask yourself a question, genuine question. Why am I not recognizing my potential? Or do I know it, but I'm not putting it to practice? Please, let's do that at our convenience. Next slide, sir. Now, if you look at the topic I was given, I was asked to look at demands from home front, demands from workplace, demand from society. And I got a concept in medicine called biopsychosocial, and that really helped me a lot to drive home the point. So there are biopsychosocial aspects of women's mental health. We know what mental health is all about. Now, there are biological aspects of women mental health, social aspects, and the psychological aspect. Now, the biological, their lives. This is a point, I wanted to remove it. I said, I'm going to a woman, hope this will not scare them. But I think I received that I shouldn't remove it. I don't want to come here and bring up fear, no, because we are here to calm stress. But I have to leave it there. Now, one of the ways you can handle stress is that accept reality. The way you are wired is different from the way men are wired. Tell men to look at one of the things I said I appreciated when I entered this place is this decoration. I said a woman will have advised. I saw, or if it's just man program, we may not even put anything on the chair, and everybody will sit down, and we do. The only thing is that maybe we drop money, okay? But if you look at this arrangement, so there are strengths, there are weaknesses. So women experience hormonal fluctuations throughout their life, and the earlier you know that, the better. So that you won't unnecessarily stress yourself, particularly during menstruation, pregnancy, postpartum, but that does not happen to everybody. And culture is making this thing to be unnecessarily stretched. In Yoruba, they call it abi, siwi. Please, because of the physiological process, and they will be carrying the woman to babalawo, from one babalawo to another babalawo, whereas it's just physiological process in the body, because we are wired differently. The body chemistry in mommy's body is quite different from my own. If she is twins, our twin sister that are identical, if they are identical, their body chemistry is not the same. So we shouldn't label anybody. And they will stress the woman taking her from one place to another For what? Just taking a little antidepressant and the person will get solved. No, the problem will get solved. Yeah, it could look scary when a woman gave birth to a baby, a formolomu, and the woman said, he's even taking the baby to throw away. That's postpartum depression for you. Or postpartum psychosis. Is hearing a voice, and the voice is telling her, this your baby is a bird. The voice. And he keeps on hearing the voice. So when you are not there, in fact, we've had not here, there was a center in Nigeria that the woman killed before they knew that it was a mental health case. Killed the baby because of postpartum psychosis. And this can be resolved if we identify quickly. So there are hormonal changes which can lead to postpartum depression. There are a lot of societal expectation, pressure to conform to social norms, expectation regarding appearance. You must appear. You know, it's not every woman that puts hijab want to put hijab based on my practice. But they put hijab because somebody said they must put hijab. Some people are stressed because of that. It's not everyone that goes to church want to dress one way, but some dress that way. Okay? Now, the balancing aspect is that what the culture is saying, how does it add value to our life, to our destiny, and even to God? Because if you put God and said, okay, we are doing this because of God, like some NGOs have been telling us, FGM, genital, I think I got it, FGM. You know, campaign is all over the place, but some cultural people are still saying it should be done, because if it is not done, the clinical will become promiscuous. No. Because you ask yourself, did God even want us to injure people? A child that is innocent, and researches have been done. These are evidence-based instruction that when you don't cut anything, it doesn't affect the lady. So why do you still go ahead doing it? So there are a lot of societal expectations. A lady got married. Is a good example? I think yes, I will bring something out from there. She didn't want to get married because something happened during her teenage stage. But she got into marriage. Then sex was a serious trouble because she ate what they call marriage. But because anytime she goes home, nobody has asked. So she now said, okay, to please this woman, let me just agree with somebody. And they got married. A year, 2 years. Auntie, this is marriage. I'm not sugar daddy. Why are you always saying no to sex? We discovered that something happened when she was a teenager. I think there was an abuse. But because the abuse has been repressed, she was not able to get out of that. You know, and nobody to talk to. So she has to go into that marriage. Okay? But the issue now is that if I tell mommy about what happened to me, will mommy not look at me as somebody that is promiscuous, this and this and that? Maybe that was why she kept mute for a long period of time. And until that unresolved conflict was resolved, she was not interested in marriage. But thank God she's happily married now. Because and there's nothing that we didn't do anything. The only thing we did, what the Sigma called free association. We just allow her to cry. She cried in my office that day. She cried well. And one thing about cry, when you are in therapy, I don't tell people not to cry. Because cry, it is only when it is now becoming abnormal, weeping spell. That's one of the symptoms of depression. That is when it's abnormal. But if it is a cry as a result of your emotional wound, please, it's allowed. Because you are releasing tension. You are getting calm by the cry. So society places demands on us, gender-based violence. But let's clap for our state for the great work that the state is doing. I think if you count 1 to 3 in the country, the work in the state and Fida especially, because as you refer to us with Barrister Atani, we were seeing a meeting last week about this issue of gender-based violence in teaching hospital. So great work is being done here, and we hear about the prosecution all the time. So let's give Ekiti State a round of applause. So then work-life balance. A woman wants to balance his work with the society and some other stuff like that. When I'm rounding up, I'll talk little about work-life balance. Then psychological factors. That one, if you look at the definition of WHO, the moment you discover that you are not doing what you are supposed to do in the society, low self-esteem can set in. And low self-esteem can lead to depression, it can lead to trauma, psychological trauma, and it can lead to a lot of stuff. Then maybe your husband is commenting on your body image. I've seen people that they wanted to slim down, and that led to physical ailments. They were taking medications. They said, when I take this natural this and that, and those stuff damage some organs in their system. If you know you are not eating rashly, you are eating balanced diet, and you are still becoming big, you are doing, but please note this, you have to watch your eating habits. But you are eating normal, please just leave it. Because in the process of thinking about it, you can, so when you are even going, nobody is looking at you. You say, you will not be thinking that I'm too big. You know why? Nobody can make you inferior without your permission. If you tell me that I'm looking harder, if I accept it, if you are afraid this presentation, because as I'm looking at you now, I'm looking harder. Hope you are not looking at me now as if my nose is somehow, because of my thoughts. Please, and please, let's when you wake up in the morning, it's not only woman that does that too. To build your self-esteem, say some affirmative word to yourself. Jotun, you are unique. You are relevant. It's not pride though. Because sometimes some people say, why are you saying that about yourself? Please, you say some things about yourself so that it will increase your positive attitude. Then trauma and abuse, like maybe as a result of rape, then there are verbal abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse. Now, there are common mental health issues among women: depression, anxiety disorder, eating disorder. Please, I'm not saying everybody that is chewing gum is having eating disorder. Please, don't quote me. Or there are a lot of in-between meals or coke. There's a woman that they must take coke 2 per day. Why? Because it contains caffeine, it gives you energy. So, because mental torture can reduce your energy. So, because coke in it, about 12 sugars in a 50 cl. Sorry. Okay? So, they want to take coke so that energy will be increased. And that can lead to another health problems. Okay? Then PTSD. Please, I think my advice on this, like the woman I just talked about, when you experience anything in life, all of us, nobody's in this place that's not passing through something. Everybody has his own problem that's facing. You are not the only one having problem. Please leave this class with that. You are not the only one facing challenges. Everybody has it. Go to Aso Rock and ask Tinubu. In fact, his own is more than my own. Okay? Because the problem of Nigeria now. So please, because the moment you stomach, this is what I find most in my practice. The moment you stomach issues for long, it wires your brain. Somebody offended you 15 years ago, and you are still keeping it in your mind. And you cannot kill that person. Hello? You cannot kill that person. And people that have taken substances, that's why, thank God I'm talking to lawyers. That's why we had cases of a wife taking knife and dagger the husband. Because a lot of accumulation of negative emotion. And because the emotional disturbance has got into this place, then the woman wants to ease herself. He started taking maybe marijuana. And marijuana can lead to hallucination. And he's now seeing the husband as a snake. Visual hallucination. May take knife. There are a lot of, is it forensic we call it? They bring to our center and say somebody killed somebody. Forensic. After we check the person, we discover that it's a mental problem. We now want to know when did it happen. He had it before he committed the murder, or what happened. There are cases that we have to do some psychological assessment. But initially, what led to the mental problem is because there was something that was not resolved. It's not every boys or girls that are taking substances are taking it because they want to take it. It's because of problem. They want to cope with a problem. And in the process of coping, they had mental problem. And that's double tragedy. Next slide, sir. No, sir. Women's mental. Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Now, the mental health of women can be significantly impacted by the demands that they face on the home front. Balancing household responsibilities and caregiving can create a high-stress environment that affects well-being. Now, I will talk about this briefly, then I'll round up. Key factors to consider at the home front. Next slide. Now, there are house responsibilities for women, caregiving duties, balancing work and life, and at the same time, society and cultural factors. I've mentioned all this before. Now, but the most important thing is that, please, learn to say no. But when I sat down with this, to take care of children, yes. You need to cook for the family, yes. You need to respect your husband, yes. Now, but a day may come that you are tired. And that's why programs like this, let's be inviting men.
I am here. I am here.
Okay, thank you, Daddy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. I think somebody also raised it, by Sir Tane, that we should also talk to boys during that our meeting. Now, there's no way they wrote it. I'm from Ekiti, my mother, my father, that said you must not pound yam. Is there anywhere? Eh? It's culture that says a woman pound yam. But if you know that your woman will pound yam and will land in the hospital, if you are a wise man, sorry to use that, you pound the yam. Sorry, my wife is not here, I pound yam in my house. Whoever is saying that they don't use my head or legs, that's his home. That's my home. It's my home.
It's my home.
And that's why you leave your father, you leave your mother, and you click to your wife.
Benny.
And you become
wow.
So please, husbands that are here,
yes, sir.
There's nothing that they are doing at home we cannot do.
Benny.
Okay. See how you want to be?
All of this.
Okay.
I'm
So, please, let's have it at the back of our mind. If you need to say no, then tell your husband why you must say no. Because the moment you say, let me, that's why sometimes when they rush women to the hospital, the case will have been so critical because she has been enduring for a long period of time without talking. Don't die in silence. Let me tell somebody beside you, don't die in silence.
Don't die in silence.
Look at the case that happened in Abuja. That woman that was singing. That sang Yoruba, sorry, Hebrew song.
Osinachi.
The husband has been doing a lot of stuff at home. Comes to church, and pick the face as if all is well, but all was not well. And coming to church. So please, let's express our mind. What will people say if I tell them this? Instead of what will people say and death, which one is better? Let them say. Because death, after death, there's no remedy. And life will get duplicate. We change our tires. If our car has fault, we change things there. But life. Next slide, sir. Now, this workplace, we get money from our workplaces. But don't allow, there's a saying in Yoruba, ẹ̀mí èèyàn gùn ju ẹ̀mí iṣẹ́ lọ. Àbí, sorry, ẹ̀mí iṣẹ́ gùn ju ẹ̀mí èèyàn lọ. Now, iṣẹ́ tá a fẹ́ filẹ̀ yẹn, sorry for speaking vernacular. The work that you don't want to stay away from will stay away from you. Either you like it or not. There was a time I was to present, we hosted my association some years back, last year. They gave me an assignment. And because I know every Nigeria is coming, I was working on my laptop saying, what will I say before Professor so? What will I say before Professor so? What will I say before Professor so? It got to a level. I said, God, come and help me. I packed my laptop and I said, I'm not doing anything again. When I get there, what I've done is what I'm going to speak about. Whatever anybody says. Because that night, I was being motivated to keep on working on the presentation. at my own detriment. And it's not that maybe because I'm part of the association, it's not that they want to give me something. Even if they want to give me something, should I kill myself because I want to impress somebody? No. So, workload and stress. If you know that you need to stay off, please stay off. Then workplace discrimination. Now, there are gender biases and harassment, and that's why our men also need to hear this. I don't know if it's our culture, but I think it's changing now that a woman cannot get to this position, this and that. I think that narrative is changing. Am I right? Am I right? Ah, we didn't say it well. I think it's getting better. We are getting there. See the rate. Because there are a lot of women in big position now. Okay. We will allow you to get there. Okay. Then harassment. I think what Ekiti State is doing, I think it has created caution to anybody that wants to behave animalistic now. Because what you hear every day will make you to caution yourself, will make you to adjust. Even though your libido is want to behave abnormally, the sense will tell you and say, no, don't do that. Because you are going to lie. Sorry, I don't want to say lie in this talk. You understand? I still had one about 3 days ago. Okay? So these are things that they will happen, but thank God the society is trying to ameliorate them and reduce their impact on the life of women. Then you can see that work-life balance is coming up regularly. We need to balance it up. I will show a slide now that talks about work-life balance. Then career. Now, sorry to go a little bit religious. When you are aiming a position, because I've been in a therapy that the reason why the woman is having anxiety and depression is because he believes that he should be there. It could be that somebody denied her, and it may be that it didn't just work out. Okay? Now, if it didn't work out, not that somebody denied you, please take it with good faith. There are some people that they got to a position and after 2 days. Because the moment you are so desperate and say, I must get there, and you are not sleeping, these people hate me, even though they may not. If you look at when we started, we said there are internal sources of stress and there are external sources of stress. And there are some stress that you are the one that even imagining. Maybe somebody was angered in his home and saw you in the morning. I'm still angry with what happened to me, maybe myself and Olokada, or myself and my family. So one way or the other, I transfer it to you. Can you see that? And because of that way of greeting, that one day way of greeting will now create a thought process that will be secreting adrenaline. Don't forget, we mentioned when we started, and cortisol will move. And the person may not even know that he did anything to you. That's why they said, please forgive people, not because of them, but because of yourself. The person now that you think is causing problem for you doesn't even know, and is enjoying his life. So please, let's just undo our imagination, okay? every thought, every imagination that is not godly, let's put them aside. There's a book the man wrote, The Power of Positive Thinking. Norman Vincent Peale. It's a book that everybody should read. Please just get it. What is just telling us in that book that we should always be positive? Yes, sir. Okay, I think I've talked about cultural. Okay. So, let's just manage this at the next. Okay. Now, how do we manage stress? I've said that we may not be able to cure stress, but we can manage it. Don't allow stress to manage it. Controlling a person's level of stress, especially chronic stress. The goal of stress management is to improve daily functioning by reducing stress and its harmful effects on both physical and mental health. Now, effective stress management. There are two ways to cope with stress. There are negative coping mechanisms and there are positive coping mechanisms. Negative coping is that mommy offended me and I behave as if nothing happened. But immediately I leave her. Even mere seeing her or thinking about her when she's not there, I'm processing negative. Because why I greeted her with laughter is because it was not in my conscious mind. There are three aspects of our mind: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind. Now, because it's not there, but when I now sit down, I'm thinking, I will now remember, what she buy land. And that will now bring a lot of stuff. We call it unresolved conflict of the unconscious mind. And Sigmund Freud was trying to say, when that is not resolved, there's no amount of medication. Antipsychotic, antidepressant, what they do is to take away symptoms. But the genesis of the problem, they don't take it away. Because the drug will not go and resolve unforgiveness for you. The drug will not go and resolve bitterness for you. It is you that need to resolve that. The only thing that antipsychotic will do is to take away psychosis. Antidepressant will take away depression. For the genesis, and that's why we say we do family therapy. If it is the husband that is causing or responsible for the anxiety disorder or depression or whatever, we can talk it out and resolve it. Okay? So please, we must not use negative style in coping with stress. In managing psychosocial stressors among women. Number one, identify your stressors. There's a slogan that says, discovery brings recovery. When you discover something, you will recover from it. But the moment you don't recognize your stressors, it will even be you. You said there are internal sources of stress. It will even be you that is responsible for the stress. So, but there are some tests that can do that for you. We call it psychological tests. When they give you that test, it will show you that this stress is not really external. It is internal, based on imagination, based on irrational fear, based on your own mind travels. You know, you are here in Ado, you are thinking about what happened in Sokoto about 10 years. Why did I even do it? I shouldn't have done it. And what somebody is just hearing beside you is, and you left Sokoto, you are still in Ado, you didn't resolve the one in Sokoto, you just thought about it. Then you came to Ado back. Then you went to Lagos, you are there 4 years ago. You thought about those so many things that happened. You didn't resolve it in your mind. The only thing that somebody just had beside you. Now, if they check your BP from those two travels, it won't be the same. So that is why, please, when you know you cannot resolve things within yourself, please call out. Call out. You have family, you have husband, you have friends, people that can be trusted, around you that you can share your body. You may not even need a mental health professional. Because at that particular time, what you just need is talking cure. You may not even need any pills at that stage. Talk out before it is too late. Number two, relaxation techniques. Most of the time when we have our leave, we go do another job again. Please, let's try to relax. I think I've told myself that now. I'm being pushed to academics small, but I'm trying to stay in this my practice more than academics. Because I've been put on to write paper. And I'm still practicing. But there's some people that they just write paper. They are not practicing. So please know your place. I may still be doing little academics, but my place. So I won't stress myself. If I say I must write paper, I have to do this. Hey, John had this. Oh, this one. Oh, this references is missing. I cannot send this paper until I get these references. And I have 3 patients to present in the ward round tomorrow. I'll be confused. So relax yourself, sleep. Then there's something we are doing regularly in our workplace now, exercises. It has been proven based on researches that when you do exercises, it releases blood to your brain. And when blood is released to your brain, then it secretes some hormones, especially endorphin. And when you have those favorable hormones, you feel happy, naturally. Then, if you don't relax, you may be frowning more. Hello? Because you use a lot of energy to frown. For example, I don't know how to do it. If you want to frown your face, you have to use energy to do that. Some literature says maybe about 42 or 47 nerves. To smile is 11 nerves. Lesser energy. Can somebody smile? Can somebody smile? Some people are not smiling. It's free. Okay? So when you see somebody around you and say, Timide, what's wrong with that? That's not true. Out of their borders of their heart.
The mouth speaketh.
I've seen people that have told me that I will hold them and take them away from the public. I say, all right, it's not true. Oh, no, it's not true. There's something going on in your mind that's reflecting. So please, let's, and that will relax us when we smile. Just smile. Sometimes just watch things that are good on your phone that make you smile. Just watch something that will make you relax. You don't every time you must stay with this material. You must do something on the internet, you must do this, that. Okay? Then this number 4, advance despite adversity. You have a problem and you stay with the problem. This is the problem. You are looking at the problem and you need to go to where mommy is for something that will add value to your destiny. But because you are too engrossed with the problem, you even carry it and look at it. And one thing about when you look at a problem, it gets increased. It increases. The moment you are looking at the problem, it increases. Then you are blindfolded. Maybe you need to pick MSc form. You will even think about it again. Then after 2 years, the problem has not left. You are now regretting. So has gotten his masters. Because you are looking at God. People see advance in adversity. Don't stay with adversity and close the chapter of your destiny. And say, because there's a problem, it will give you greater stress. Because later you now say, I should have done this. Why have I not done that? Because of this, because of that. And you now regret it. And that will be double tragedy. Because the problem of ground has already been resolved and you are not advancing. So please, let's advance despite adversity. Then you must be able to manage your time. That's something I will show before I close. Then every lifestyle choices. And this area, we need to handle it very well. Your balanced diet, what you eat, can affect your sleep. In fact, they said, fry things by 7 is not good. Eba by 7 is not good. Stress you physiologically, and when you are stressed physiologically, it will affect your sleep, and that will lead to stress the next day. Then I've talked about exercising. Then please, let's practice sleep hygiene. The way you practice sleep hygiene, you start it from the day. Mommy offended me, immediately I forgive her. Mommy offended me, immediately I forgive her. Mommy offended me, immediately I forgive her. Because forgiveness from A, B, C. And I got to the house, I went to kitchen. As I'm in the kitchen, I remember some people did something to you. And they are enjoying in their own houses. So if you want to sleep in the night, only I know, money shows the day. Please, your sleep starts from now. The way you are going to sleep at night, say about 9 hours to this time now, we start from the way you are living your life now. It's not only by putting off the lights, it's not only by sleeping on a good bed, it's not only by putting a very good bed sheet, but your mind. Okay? That's very important. Then take breaks. As I've said earlier, please, let's take breaks. Our leave, like the Oyibos, they will collect their leave and come to Africa. So when we collect our own, thank you. I was expecting that. Why say, hey, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Don't mind me. Okay. So take breaks, please. It's not good for you to make money and spend it on sickness. I see some things in the hospital, I don't like it. Your retirement, you are now, it's not a good thing. Please. And it could be the way the person lived the early years. There's nothing that says when you are 60, you must have dementia. No. Please don't accept that narrative. There's nothing that says so.
Yes, sir.
Because dementia is now occurring commonly now. And people now say, this, please, if you don't want it to occur, it must start now. Sleep well. Take away grudges. Don't stress yourself. Because those are predictors. They don't take alcohol. or all the psychosomatic illness substances. Then we can use this type. Wow.
Continue.
Yes, sir. Okay. They call this thing, the name looks somehow funny. Technique shakelings. You are doing something on your laptop. Set your alarm and say, alarm, tell me to stand up after this time. Some could be 30 minutes when you know you are fatigued. Then when the alarm tells you, can call your spouse or just take fresh air and come back to that place. You discover that you will do well on that laptop than when you are doing like this and you are not getting anything. Start off from the place. And at least I will drop this slide so we can look at it at our next. Now, other ways as a roundup, social support, please. I think that is going on in Africa, but it's a pity it's fading away because of globalization and because of internet, social media is taking away our values. Please, let's support people. And the moment you notice that somebody is not what he was, his mind, please, let's call the person to order. The person is charming. He relates well, jovial, but now he's always looking quiet. Please call that person. A doctor, you heard about the case, jumped into lagoon when he was coming back from church. The question I asked myself is that did nobody said got mental health cases? Yeah, it could be mental health case that led to that, but somebody should have discovered and said, doctor, you are not yourself, or you just have a way of talking to the person. Then you show social support, and the person may discuss with you and open up to you. But let's say because it's a doctor, they think all is well. So please, let's be our brother's keeper. Positive thinking, that's why I said, please get that book, Power of Positive Thinking. Then set boundaries. Please, it's not every invitation that you accept. And don't die in silence because you want to accept every invitation. Then please, professional help. If you know that you have tried all I've mentioned, you have identified your stressors, you are always positively minded, you are managing your stress, you are having good social support, you are thinking positively, but you are still having some symptoms, please go see a mental health professional. And don't talk about the name psychiatry, because the moment we mention psychiatry, it looks, in our place now, we are trying to call it mental health department. That looks somehow soft than say psychiatry department. So you may not be having psychiatric issue, just mental health issue. This work-life balance I'm not happy with myself. Be happy with yourself. Yes, you have not gotten there, but you will get there. So don't wake up and hate yourself. That's why suicide is rampant. It starts like that. Suicide is not just a day thing. Somebody that committed suicide yesterday, it has started some days. So those things that come to your mind, please don't stress yourself. Then work, family, and friends. And when somebody died, the friend will say, could they suffer one now? That was last person. You know? So please, let's try as much as possible not to be men's pleaser. Let's please God and also please ourselves. In conclusion, the evidence is clear that we are in stressful world. That's not in news. The world is stressful. Even though you are knocked down outside, a Congo of beans, my wife said I should price. It was 4-5 day before yesterday. Knowing that is stressful. The last time I knew was 800. So she's been the one that I've been going. So for something happens here, I should get to the market and get it price. And I look at 800. I didn't know when it was 1.5. She was one hour telling me it was 1.5 to now 4.5. And look at the little, at least I'm getting some salary. But when I had it, it touched me. Now, but if you are worried about that, that will kill somebody. Okay? So even though the environment is knocking us down, don't be knocked down in your mind. The environment may be knocking you down, but the moment you knock down in your mind, that battle is not won. That's why you have sports psychologists. They will be telling the players, don't mind them. They will be showing the video of the opponent they want to play with the next 2 hours. Now, when you get to the football pitch, that's the style of that club. Two of you managing, don't fear him. He's a world star, don't fear him. That's what sports psychology will be telling them. And really, when they get to the pitch, without confidence, because if you are looking at the external stressors alone, you may be demoralized. There are inner strength in you. Okay? Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So use that capacity within you to manage the stress around you. Then sadness is highly expensive. I will tell you why. And it is a choice. The reason why sadness is expensive, it drains 3 things. It drains your hope. And when there's no hope, there's no future. It drains your joy. You cannot draw from God. Because that's why every meeting in church starts with praise and worship. Then it drains your energy. You'll be weak, you can't do anything. But joy is a free gift from God. Frowning takes more energy. Laughter takes lesser energy. Worries don't improve your challenges. If you get to mosque or you get to church and you put your hand on your shin and begin to look at the altar, that will not make God to come to you. Because God is not moved by worries. No. Check the Bible. He's not moved by words. No. He's moved by appreciation and praises. So please, and worries like a barber shear. It gives you work to do. For example, when we boys, when we get to barber, we'll be pushing us like this, and we are not moving forward. That's worry. So don't allow worry to keep you on the spot. It is not what you are passing through that really matters, but the way you are responding to what you are passing through. Please, let's be kind to our brain. Thank you for listening.
I'm sure we've all learned a lot from this wonderful lecture. My take home from this is that stress is real and it can actually lead to physical illnesses. So let us try to understand ourselves and know our coping mechanism, promote our mental health in order not to have a mental illness. Like doctor said, once it gets to that stage, it has no cure. Thank you very much, doctor. Quickly, we want to have Mrs. Adebimpe. She's still online. In 10 minutes, because of our time, Mrs. Adebimpe will be speaking to us on mental health and stress management and mental health for women. Mrs. Adebimpe, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can. And can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
In 10 minutes, ma'am, please can we have your presentation?
All right. Thank you so very, very much. Okay, all right, beautiful. Even the people online also say they can hear me. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be here to collaborate and speak on the Fida platform. It is really an honor, as it were, considering the fact that you also are a supporter of the work that we are doing in Ekiti State. Before I proceed as well, I would just like you to know that Dr. Merino sent her regards, even though you sent me the invitation, but she was quite excited to having, the company, the opportunity for the company to showcase what we do and how we affect women as well. So before I move forward, I just want to acknowledge the distinguished speakers that you have put together. Dr. Ajiboye, hello there. Your presentation was beautiful. It was really, really awesome. As in now, me too, I want to become doctor, because that lecture was just so awesome. My colleagues in the house, the honorable guest, and definitely each and every esteemed member of FIDA. Thank you so much for having me here. When you sent in the topic and I decided to, look into it, you didn't mention that we'll be having doctors in the panel. However, I'm really so glad because they have done justice in terms of defining. Can you still hear me? I think I'm echoing somehow. Can you still hear me, please? Sorry, can you hear me? I think it's them that went off, Abby. Hello, Busi, can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now?
Stress.
Okay, all
This
right.
morning, my assignment is I'm here for a few minutes. Let me just restate some of the key points that the keynote speaker said this morning. Among other things, he said, the only place void of problem is the graveyard. That implies that problems is synonymous with living. As long as you are alive, you are going to encounter one problem or the other. So the earlier the better you learn to enjoy where you are all the way to where you are going. Problem is synonymous with living. As long as you are on this planet Earth, you are going to encounter one problem or the other. And for women, before you get married, you are looking for who to marry. When you are married, the children are always there. And when you become a grandmother, your grandchildren are always there. So from cradle to grave, you encounter one problem or the other. So he said we should learn to be happy with who we are as women. We should not carry the problems on our shoulder. We should stop looking like our problem. We should start looking like our solution. Because everybody has an issue. So what you are going through is not peculiar to you. I was once there. I was a young girl like this student sitting down here. Myself, Dr. Ajiboye, and Barrister Aloma, we were students, undergraduate students in Ondo State University, 1995, 1992, when campus. Dr. Ajiboye, myself, magistrate, Funke Aloma, who were all students in that university, certificate. But we are here, we are no longer students. That means every man is a genius in his own field. But I just want to emphasize on the fact that you should be proud of who you are. I'm not a psychotherapist, I'm a psychologist. I'm not intimidated by anybody's potential. Because one of the sources of problem is because you feel that you are not relevant. You look down yourself, you believe that every other person is better than you. And you are not happy. He said it. Know your strength. Maximize your strength. Play down on your weaknesses. Can I repeat that statement again for emphasis sake? I said every man is a genius, but in his own field. And he said we should learn as women to communicate our feelings to our partners. We should learn to say no. You are not El Shaddai. You can't be everything to everybody. Sometimes they look at you that you are proud as a woman. Because maybe sometimes your in-laws, maybe you have some artists, they just look at you and say, you are intimidated by your potential. Say, who is she? See, because she's a barrister, does she think? And that is not it. So you must learn to say no and mean it. You must know your boundaries. This is how far I can go. You must learn to communicate your feelings to your spouse. How do you want to be loved? How do you want to be supported? Among other things, I want to make sure that I'm doing justice to what Dr. Ajiboye emphasized for some of us that we're not here. And he said, stress is normal with living. We said we have positive stress and we have negative stress. Stress can be internal and stress can be external. Among other things, he said we should learn to shun bitterness, grudges, and anger. We should let go because they are the ones that cause negative emotions. And as women, we should learn to have mentors that we can share with. Because some of these mentors, when we sitting down here this morning, our future is their past. Life is like mathematics. How do you perform well in mathematics? You follow the example. So when you follow the example, you arrive at the answer. I was once a student. I was in the university. I'm now a worker. I'm a mother. I will soon become a grandmother too. Life goes on. Different phases in life. And he said, you should learn to talk to trusted friends. Don't die in silence. Silence is not a gift of the spirit. Learn to open up. Learn to speak up. Don't die in silence. Happiness is a choice. Life is in phases, men and in sizes. Enjoy where you are. And he said, we should not economize with our smiles.
We should learn to smile. There's a particular song there, Feyinye by Lagbaja. Learn to smile. He said it takes more energy to frown than to smile. So we should learn to smile. And I believe I'm able to do justice to what Dr. Jiboye is this morning. Thank you for celebrating me. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. So now, one of the things he said, going to overlap with mine. But then repetition is the mother of learning. So I'm a woman. I'm going to say it in my own way. And I'm going to be a bit dramatic. Yes. The first thing I want to say is, as a woman, it's when you are alive that you can negotiate life. Like I said, problem is synonymous with living. There's no way you get to that you will not have problem. So the one thing you want to take care of, you must prioritize self-care. It's when you are alive that you can be the mother of your children. It's when you are alive that you can be a good wife to your husband. It's when you are alive that you can be relevant in the society. It's when you are alive that you can be relevant in your workplace. So prioritize your self-care. Learn to accept your individuality. Choose to be happy. I said happiness is a choice. Happiness is not in people. Happiness is not in places. Happiness is in you. You are the custodian of your happiness. Sometimes your husband will not make you happy. Sometimes your boss will not even see whatever you are doing in the office. So you must tell me that I'm going to be happy in spite of everything I'm going through. Don't wear your problem on your shoulder. Stop looking like your problem. Stop looking like your problem. Start looking like your solution. Choose to be happy. Focus on the positive aspect of life. Everybody has an issue. The thing is, look at what we are going through, but everybody has an issue. If you ask magistrate, Allah, she has an issue as a grandmother. She has things she's going through. If you ask people, sometimes when these teachers can be so funny. Sometimes when they bring this assignment, you wonder where they are. Somebody 6 years old, like 10 assignments. And by the time you go to the mommy, I've not done my assignment, that is another phase. You keep wondering, you say, mommy, my son told me, mommy, I say, I don't know it. I don't know it. Qualitative analysis of assignment, verbal listening. When they bring this assignment, I used to be there. It's a phase. So I said, you must learn to accept your individuality. Nobody can make you feel inferior without your consent. Learn to accept your individuality. Every man is unique. Learn to focus on your strengths. And don't be apologetic with who you are. I'm a teacher, I'm a lecturer, of course. But then I'm excited being who I am. I'm relevant, I'm a role model to those students. So be proud of who you are. I want us to avoid negative comparisons. Because that is the source of stress. I'm not slim, I'm not this, my hair is long, I don't have straight leg. I want to wear bones, I want to do this, I want to do that. Beware of negative comparison. Learn to, know who you are, accept your individuality. Number 3 thing I put there is that happiness is a choice. And I said, learn to say no without feeling guilty. Know your boundaries. Know your limits. There was a particular time we have a program in the church, and it's going to be an all night. All through the day, I was not feeling. I took my son, my last one. I said, go and stay with one of our friends. I needed to rest. And it was a vigil. And my husband, when it was time, like 9 o'clock, he was preparing for the vigil, and I pretended as if I did not know. He said, sweetheart, come and dress. It's 10 o'clock. We're going to church for vigil. I said, that will be my first time. I've been married for 25 years. I said, I won't be attending the vigil. I said, I don't have the stamina. Know your limits. Learn to say no and mean it. He said, why? I said, I don't have the strength. I said, even when I went to the market and I went to keep my son somewhere, and the man was calling me, Mama, are you not back from the market? I said, I'm back from the market, but I'm not picking that boy till night. I want to rest. Know what your body is speaking to you. He said it. So he said, what will happen, because I'm a pastor's wife? He said, what about what the church member will say that Mama did not come for VG? I said, sir, when they are doing the program, they used to say, let's welcome our online viewers. He said, tonight, I'm going to be an online viewers. I said, they can say anything. I'm not coming. I'm not God. I need to rest. So I communicated my place. Know where your body is speaking to you. Know your limit. And then I said, focus on your strength and downsize your weaknesses. He said it. Know your limits. Another thing is you must learn to delegate tasks. You must learn to delegate tasks. You cannot finish everything. You can spend money. You can get house help. You can get people that will come and help you. Maybe if you even the office. You can never be in every office. You will not perform at your optimal point. You will not be productive. When you are everywhere, you are a nursing mother. You are in different associations. Your children are supposed to pick them up at 2:00. You cannot be in every association. So you know your limits. You know that stage. You went to the exam hall yesterday, and in particular, enjoy where you are. It's a season. And the other lady looked at me, and we were there. It was an evening paper, 3:30. We were there till 6:30 in the school. And she looked at me, and she sighed. I said, Madam, what's wrong with you? You look depressed. She said, my children, they close by 2:00. I said, where are they now? She said, with my neighbor. I said, how long? What's the age? She said, the baby is less than 2 years. And we're supposed to close by 6:30 in the exam hall. So she looked at me. She said, what about your own children? I said, my 2 girls are graduates already. She looked at me. I said, but my son is in a boarding house. And she looked at me, feeling like, oh, you are so lucky. I said, no, I've been there before. I said, I've been there. Life is in phases. Enjoy where you are. You are going to be a grandmother one day. One day too, you will look up and say, my children are graduates. I started from there. Enjoy it. I said, nothing will happen to your children. Let's focus on this assignment. We were there to 6:30 yesterday. A mother, a career woman, and a wife. You must learn to balance the equation. Another thing I said is, don't be jack of all trades. Let me leave that. Financial stress. Avoid unnecessary competition. Life is in phases, men are in sizes. Wear your size per time. Eat your size per time. If you cannot wear turkey, wear China. Every cloth is a designer clothes. A tailor made the clothes. If you cannot wear China, wear made in Nigeria. If you cannot wear turkey, wear made in USA. Wear made in anywhere, Accra, Ghana, anywhere. Yes, bend down boutique. It's a boutique. The only thing is you bend down to pick it up. That's the difference. Eat your size per time. If you cannot afford to wear chicken, egg, everything, eat your size per time. The one you can afford and enjoy that phase of your life. Enjoy that phase of your life. Avoid unhealthy competition. Wear your size. If you cannot afford it, if you cannot afford leather shoes, wear. I didn't say it. What I mean is avoid unhealthy competition, comparing yourself. Your husband is a teacher and his salary is 45,000 per month, for God's sake. Your friend that you are competing with, your husband is maybe a banker, earning like 200K per month. You cannot wear synthetic, you cannot wear woman here, wear synthetic. And be proud of who you are. Another thing we must learn to do, we must learn to manage our cut brief. Want to review cases, you need to spend hours, you need to be diligent with your time. You need to know how to maximize your time. You can't be there for everybody shouting on, how are you? How was your day? I'm not saying you should not socialize, but then learn to manage your time. There's something I do of recent now. I send voice note to people. Good morning, how are you? Let me send from you. Have a nice day. Voice note. I don't have time to be typing and typing and typing and typing. Voice note. I pass the message across. It saves me a lot of my time. And what do? I have two phones. That other one, we call it Palasa. That small one. Sometimes I'm not online. So why are you not online? I'm busy, I'm reading. Because by the time you say you are online, you want to study, you have a court case. By the time somebody say, how are you? You see the notification. Before you know it, let me just check this thing. And that thing is a demon. Sometimes you want to check it. Well, just 1 hour, you are there 3 hours. So I have another phone I use. My outline is there. The other phone is a WhatsApp phone. Sometimes I'm off 3-4 hours because I want to get to the pinnacle of my career. And I can't be there when I'm 24 hours on the phone. So I like to manage my time. And another thing that managing your time as women is learn to prepare for the day and Tuesday. Check your kitchen. It's not good for you that in the morning you not discover that you don't have palm oil in the kitchen as a woman. Learn to be organized. Check your kitchen per time. What is not in your kitchen? You can do it monthly. You can do it twice in a month. Go and check your kitchen. What is not there? Go and check the level of palm oil. So that in the morning you wake up, you want to prepare your children for school, and you discover that there is no gas in the house. So what do? I have 3 cylinders. Not because I'm so rich. So that when this other thing, I have 3 kg, I have 6 kg, I have 12 kg in the house. That's what I do. So that if this one if there's no gas in this one, I quickly go to the other one. And the student will still have to demand for attention. You have to do the homework. So how do you do that? You can get a lesson teacher for the student. So that you can manage your time, because you need money to manage your time. In the house. There are sometimes you should eat out. It's not a sin. Take yourself out. Only we are eating out today. Everybody. I'm stressed. Communicate your feelings. Don't die in silence. Only don't be a superwoman in the house, a master woman. You are the one doing everything. You are the one taking the children to school. You are the one taking the children. You are the one going to the market. Tell your husband how you want to be assisted. Tell your husband how you want to be assisted. And I said, buy in bulk and buy in groups. Buy in groups. In the office, you can order for a bag of beans. You can share it. Go to the local market in your environment. You don't need to dress like this when you are going to Chacha market. Go to the local market. And it's not a pride. Go around the market to know to dance. No, which one is the cheapest? Oh, this person is my customer. They will just be cheating you as a woman. And how can you manage the money your husband is giving you? They are not increasing your husband's salary, and that same money you need to manage. How do you do it? The same salary. Buy in bulk, go to the local market, go and patronize them. It won't even reduce the fact that you are a barista. Wear slippers, dress down, go and get things where they are cheap. Another thing I said is share responsibility at home. Seek support. I said it. Support for your parents. Sometimes you need to rub those children with your parents. They are in your environment. Your parents, from your friends, sometimes open up to them. How are you doing it? How have you been able to do it? And I said, enjoy social activities. Enjoy by weekends. Sometimes you don't have to be in every function, but then be selective with your function. Enjoy social activities. I said, be contented with what you have. I've said that earlier. Be contented with what you have. Enjoy where you are on the way to where you are going. And don't forget that your future is somebody's past. Have a mentor. Life is like mathematics. Wherever you want to be, somebody else is there. Ask them. Mommy, how did you do it? When your children are growing up, how did you train? Ask questions. Don't be too proud to ask questions. And the last thing I want to reemphasize again is take care of yourself. It is when you are alive that you can negotiate life. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Adit. Okay, that was awesome. I always say this. No, we are not jollof rice. We cannot please everybody. Learn to understand your limits. And above all, she said something very important which I want to elaborate on. Do not emphasize on your weakness. Don't let people, because I cannot do this, don't let it be your strength. Rather, that one that you can do, say it out more. You know, I was telling someone I have stage fright, and the person said that is not possible. Because you will never see me, you know, talk about that. I do a lot of things in public, but I know what I do behind the scene to get up there and not let it show. As women, let us understand that, like the Bible says, that the servant that was given 5 talents and the one giving 2 and 1, that's your talent. Stick to it and let people know you for it. Thank you very much, Dr. Anthony. So for our last speaker, quickly, we're back with you. We're sorry, Mrs. Adebimpe, there was a network glitch.
No problem. We're in Nigeria.
Let's have you address us on stress management and mental health for women. In 10
Right.
minutes. And hold on, ma, before you go on, please, if you have questions, please write down your questions. We'll have briefly ask the speakers some questions because I know that we may have things we want to ask the speakers. So quickly, ma'am, in 10 minutes, let's have you speak to us.
Okay. So like I said, thank God for Doctor and my distinguished speaker that just left the stage. I didn't catch her name. I think it was Dr. Babalola as well. Yes. Right. So they've given you the perspectives. They've given you perspectives. Dr. Ajiboye spoke to you from like a clinical point of view, mixed it, added some life points. I loved what Dr. Babalola did. I mean, she gave it to you straight and hot, you know, which sometimes we as women, we need some of those charges so that we can get on the upright side of our head. So what I'm going to do, you know, now is to try and balance it up. I'm not a psychologist as well. I'm more of a wellness coach. I'm a trauma care coach. And the truth of it is, I am right in the middle of this balancing act that we do as women, where we're, especially all of us, I'm sure for each and every one in the auditorium, we are juggling the balls in one way or the other. We are mothers, wives, sisters, friends, family. We are doing quite a lot, including career and professional improvement. So yeah, we're all in this together, and I want us to look at it from there. I'm going to be talking about this balancing act and how we're going to do it. And I'm also going to be talking about what we as society, right? Everyone has talked about the individual contributions. I'm going to speak more into that. And then I'm also going to talk about what we as a society, what we as organizations, what we as individuals, as government, if we have any government officers sitting in the midst, what we can do to be able to enable women better, you know, handle and effectively carry out this balancing act. Now, before I go into the practical strategies that I have curated, and let me say this, look, they've given us more than enough, but I want us to be able to, categorize them, right? And then look at, steps inside those categories. So I'm a teacher. I tell people I teach. So if you have something you can use to take notes, this is the right time to do that. Now, let me quickly summarize what all the speakers have spoken about in terms of stress management, which is the key and the core of this talk. Now, stress management is about control, simple and short. It's about control. It's about letting go. It's about deloading yourself, right? Dr. Ajiboye talked about stress being overload, overwhelmed. So stress management is really about control, letting go, deloading, right? It's about taking charge, taking control of your thoughts, how you think, your emotions, your schedules, your environment, right? That is what stress management is all about, right? The way, especially the way you deal with problems, the way you respond to the issues and the things around you, that is simply stress management, right? So once you immediately start feeling yourself under control, your voice is raising, like doctor said, your heart is doing, you're being upregulated. You know that, right? I'm under stress. And what can I do to get it down? Now, these are the practical strategies that I've curated for you. Dr. Babalola said something, prioritize self-care. Please, if you have a pen, write it in capital letters. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. However, you can take it in incremental steps. It's not when until the BP has reached 180/200 or 1000/200 that you now want to start prioritizing self-care. No, start now. Once you start now and start building it, it can be as small as 15 minutes daily for yourself. It can be as much as before everybody wake up, just carry a cup of tea, sit down in the silence, in the quiet, in the darkness of your kitchen or your bedroom and get it done. Another thing about self-care that I have found out to be very helpful is what I call breathing exercises. One of the things stress does, right, like doctor said, is it hijacks us. It removes us from the present, keeps us in the past. Oh, had I known, had I done, had I this, or it propels us into a future that has not happened. What if? That is what stress does for us. But by the time you reclaim control back, you take control of your body and start breathing. And the fastest thing you can do to take control of your body is breathing. So before I move on, I want to give us a practical breathing exercise. It's something that I do at all my workshops and, to all my clients. There's this that we practice at work. It's called box breathing. And guys, I'm going to teach you how to breathe today. I'm going to teach you how to breathe. If you can hear me, can I hear a yes from the audience? Because I know that I'm looking at you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Now, the very first thing we're going to do whilst you're seated, just shake yourself out. Because sometimes our shoulder is here and we don't know. All of us, we're stressed and we don't know. So the very first thing you do is just shake your arms, shake your hands out, shake yourself, shake your body. Do it right now. This reactive, this interactive exercise. Shake yourself, shake your body. The two women sitting in front of me, I can see you. You're not doing anything. You're just looking at me and talking. Just shake yourself. Good. Thank you. Right? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to breathe. We're going to take a deep breath. Now, when you're breathing, you don't use your chest. You use your belly to breathe. If you're using your belly to breathe, you are ensuring that your lungs is controlled by your diaphragm, that thing that is here. Your lungs are controlled and you're extending it to take in as much oxygen as you can. Dr. Ajiboye talked about hormones, cortisol, endorphins. One of the things that reduces cortisol, the stress chemical in your body, the natural two things that reduces it very fast, oxygen and water. So right now, I want us to reduce the stress hormones. The stress that Ekiti has piled up, the stress that family issues have piled us. I want us to release it this morning. So you're going to take a deep breath and breathe out. So let's do that 4 times. Breathe in deep, out. When you're breathing out, you breathe out, you see my mouth, you breathe out as if you're blowing into a balloon. So you're not, that's not the one we're doing today, right? There's that, but you're going to just breathe out slowly so that you get out all the air inside of you. So take a deep breath again. out as if you're blowing into a balloon. 2 more times, in, out. 1 last time, in, out. Now, I'm now going to get you into the box breathing. With box breathing, you can either do 4, 4, 4. That is 4 in for 4 counts, out for 4 counts, hold it for 4 counts, and breathe out for 4 counts, right? You can either do that, but the one that I love to do is you breathe in for 5. So you take in deep for 5 counts, hold it for 6 counts, and then let it out for 8. So you have it like this, and it goes. So that's why we call it the box breathing, the 5, 6, 8 breathing. So now that we know how to take a deep breath, we take a deep breath, hold it for 6 counts, and then breathe out for 8. Let's go. Let's do it together. We're going to also try this for 4 times. So breathe in for 5. Hold. Out.
Mrs. Adebimpe, we lost you there, ma.
Okay, so did you hear what I said about the box breathing?
Yes. We got you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if you can, let me see if I can increase my screen just a little bit. All right, can you see my hand? I'm trying to count. All right, so if you take it in for 5, you hold it for 6, and then you breathe out for 8, right? Let's see how long we can do that. Let's take it 4 times, yeah? So breathe in for 5. Hold it for 6. Out for 8. Again, in. Hold. Out. Now, 2 more times. I want you to do it at your own pace. Breathe in for 5, hold it for 6, and breathe out for 8 at your own pace. When you're done, just lift up your hand and let me know you're done. Do it 2 times. All right. All right. Well done. Give yourself a round of applause. Just give yourself a round of applause. Well done. I don't know if anybody can, does somebody want to stand up and say how you felt after all this? I just need one person to volunteer. Someone can give them the microphone and just feedback to the audience how you felt after this exercise. Who's going to volunteer?
Volunteer?
Nobody? Okay, somebody's raising up their hand at the back. Okay.
Thank you. The first breathing exercise really felt good. I have to tell the young ladies sitting beside me that really felt good. But for the second one, it's a bit because we're trying to keep count. So I think for me, because this is the first time I'm trying it, it's a bit not as relaxing as the first one, but it felt good. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you. That feedback was what I wanted. So the very first one relaxed you, right? But the second one, because you needed to count, it sort of, you were, okay, should I count? Should I breathe? But the truth of it is, by the time you do it regularly, you know, I told you about 15 minutes of silence to yourself. By the time you do your breathing in the morning, in the night, in the morning before everybody wakes up, at night, just before you go to bed, or during the day when the overwhelm is on you, you will get used to it, and you know it will be helpful. For instance, for me, I set alarms to drink water and I set alarms to breathe. I call them my breath breaks. You know, breath breaks, take a cup of water and then breathe. Now, finally, Dr. Ajiboye said something about prioritizing sleep. Yeah, there's this vote for getting 7 to 8 hours. But because I know we're all busy, what I say is catch a minimum of 6. Catch a minimum of 6 and learn how to take power naps when you can, right? Because whenever you get busy, sleep is one of the very first things that goes out the window. So if you're able to catch your 6 hours minimum, 7 to 8 hours is recommended, right? But you can now catch in your power naps along the line. Number 2, Dr. Babalola was very emphatic about this, and I will re-emphasize because you cannot say it enough. Learn to say no. Set your boundaries. Set your boundaries. Learn to say no. Limit your non-essential commitment. It's not everything you need to do by yourself. It's not everything you need to commit to, right? It is not. Learn to recognize what they are and limit non-essential commitment is important. Communicate your limits clearly, right? This is where respectfulness now comes in. This is where improving your communication skills as part of your self-care and skill up comes in. And learn to delegate, both at work, both at family functions, and at your home. Learn to delegate. A 10-year-old child is not young enough to sweep house and do chores. No. So learn to delegate. Learn to delegate is important. Number 3 that I want us to categorize is time management. Now, you cannot manage time because everybody has 24. So there's nothing you're managing inside time. You can't have more, you can't have less. But one thing you can manage is yourself, right? You can manage yourself, how you do things, how you utilize things, how you respond. You remember what I said about stress management? It's about taking control and letting go, taking control in some areas and letting go in some areas. When time management is concerned, that is a balance you need to find. Use tools like calendars.
5 seconds more.
Okay,
5 seconds
so
more.
the next thing you need to do is to build, Doctor mentioned about building a support network. Now, they've said a lot about something, but let me emphasize something about stress reduction. Forgiveness is key in terms of letting go. Learn to forgive and move on. Number 6, professional help is important. If you are feeling overwhelmed and something more than you can handle, learn to go to where you can find help, either at your church, at your mosque, or professional help like you have Dr. Ajiboye there. There are counseling services that you can subscribe yourself to. One final thing before I go, create rituals. Create rituals, develop routines. Like for instance, if you come home from work, remove your clothes, right? Just develop a routine around yourself. Your morning routine, your night routine. Take family routines as well. Include members of your family in this. Those are very, very, very beautiful stress management techniques. Now, very quickly, I hope I can have just 2 minutes to talk about this because it's important. Our societal response, the things we must address at a societal level, because it's one thing to do stress management by yourself, but we are not silos. We are within communities. And one of the approaches that I promote a lot is education and awareness, like what Fida is doing now, raising awareness about mental health issues, educating people about these techniques, educating our families, educating our churches, educating our mosques and our schools is important. Workplace policies. Let us start in our places of work. Let us start advocating for family-friendly policies. Let us start advocating for flexible hours. Now that COVID has taught us, right? Remote work should not be a thing. I mean, look at it. I'm here where I am, but I'm able to communicate and impact you people over there via technology. So let's begin to develop workplace policies that will help women have a balance in their life. Community support systems. I know in Africa we have that a lot, but like Doctor said, we're gradually losing it. But it is something we need to be able to pull back. Communities need to not only take care of children, but we also need to be able to take care of our elderly ones as well. Another thing that we can look at is cultural shift. Let us not contribute to the stigma. Let's not contribute to the stigma at all. Let each and every one of us in this hall not be contributors to when somebody is having a mental health issue, for us to now start saying, Kilonshe, what's doing you? My friend, get your acts together. Don't you know? How long will you bring? For instance, a friend of mine that just, lost someone, and a friend just came in again. We were sitting down together and said, Kilonshe, did they let Are? What's that? No. Let us give room. Let us give space for people to be themselves. Let us give space. That is community support. Another thing that we can do as a community is professional development. For instance, I'm not a psychologist, right? Like I said, but as a mental health advocate, I have developed myself in learning about these things and how I, as a non-medical personnel, can help people. So that is important. That is one of the things that we can do. We can take courses that can help people to reduce workplace stress. We can take courses that can help people in their grieving process. I know Professor Taiwo, she's a very key person in Lagos at the time, and she lost her only daughter. She just has 2 kids, and she lost her only daughter. And out of it, she developed herself, and she started a grief foundation, a foundation for people grieving. That was the first time I was hearing about that thing, and it intrigued me. And I know people, testimonies that have come out of that development of herself in order to be able to help other people. Number 2, look, thank God it's Fida Week, and we have quite a lot of lawyers in-house. As legal professionals, we must begin to advocate for the implementation of mental health policies, of mental health laws, of women's rights, right, in every sphere of life. I'm so happy that Ekiti has been able to implement, as it were, a mental health bill, but there's always room for improvement. There's always room for amendments. There's always room to making it better. And I'm sure that, hand in glove, we're going to accomplish that. Now, in conclusion, right, by acknowledging the multiple roles, right, that we play, by acknowledging that, by providing, practical strategies to our sisters, to our fellow women, we can work towards creating a society that supports women's well-being, not only in the house, but also in the office. Not only in the office, but also in familial and community settings. We as women, we need each other to be able to move forward. We as women, we can challenge the harmful cultural norms that we inherited from generation past. We can challenge those norms, and we can begin to preserve the good parts of our heritage, the good parts of our culture, the good parts of habits that will take us forward towards better mental health and towards wellness and better well-being for women. Thank you very much for having me. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ma. We've heard from Mrs. Adebimpe that self-care is not being selfish. It is the way you pass your message. Above all, let us learn to seek help from practitioners. Speak out. Do not mind the fact that maybe someone will make jest of it. It is better to speak out than be under. Very much we appreciate our speakers. Please let's give them all a round of applause. And I'm sure if I really good this afternoon, we've learned more about mental health, stress management, and how to take care of ourselves. I don't know if you have any questions. Because of our time, we may not be able to take much questions. Anybody, by show of hands? Thank you very much. I have understood this. Oh, okay. Quickly, you. And let's know if your question is directed to any of the speaker or you want a particular person to answer the question.
Thank you, Ma, for this privilege. Thank you, sir, and Ma, doctors. We thank you for the teachings that we've learned a lot from this, and I'm very grateful for that. Sounds like if someone is like if your mental health is not really okay, can it also cause convulsion and pains in the breathing areas of your body?
Thank you very much. Convulsion, sometimes we call it seizure. So at times it's a mental health issue. There's a name which we don't really like to call it. It may graduate to epilepsy. Now, but the most important thing is that from childhood, because some people normally have that childhood, the earlier you attend to it, the better. There's nothing that says it may graduate to adulthood. But if you take it at that stage, you get better. Okay? Now, respiratory issue. It depends, before we make diagnosis, you have to look at the conditions. You have to look at the situation surrounding it. Now, if you have maybe schizophrenia, depression, like somebody that is depressed now, may begin to manifest one way that it is not breathing well. And what you are seeing is not a respiratory problem, but it's a fearful reaction. Do you know? If I'm afraid of mommy now, my breathing rate changes. Okay? But that does not mean I'm having a respiratory problem. You get it? But if I calm down, if we flow together, my breathing gets normalized. Okay? But if that is not attended to in time, it can lead to high blood pressure and can now lead to respiratory problems. That's what we call comorbidity. Somebody can have depression, at the same time have hypertension, at the same time have diabetes. So when we notice something in our body, the earlier we attend to it, the better.
Before we go on, Dr. Ajiboye has a book written on way out of substance addiction. I understand that some of the coping negative coping of substance, and I know that our students are here. Students are here. The book is on Amazon and Seller. Also, one of us in the house, the financial secretary too, Ayobami Olomoyo Richard, has a book written on drug addiction. It's also on Amazon. I need us to understand from what we've learned so far that one of the coping mechanisms for stress, the negative coping mechanism, could be drug abuse, and it is important that you understand this thing. Can go on Amazon and order any of these books. Thank you very much. So let's have a question now.
afternoon, everyone. Mine will be a form of contribution. You know, when you are talking about stress, especially for women, one of the things that really do affect us is the issue of gossip, backbiting, which is, unless you want to shy away from it, very common among women. So all the three sisters, they've said something about societal value or community, whatever. So please, if you cannot help your fellow sister, try as much as possible not to bring your sister down. Just yesterday, I was just going through social media and I saw something on Toyin Aimaku, Toyin Abraham, I don't know what she's there now, Abraham Aimaku, mommy already, that she did something to one Ayo, I don't know, I didn't read the story fully, but what really interests me is that people started sending messages to Netflix that our film should be removed. Even Wikipedia now is now tagging her as a bully, a filmmaker, bully, and what have you. So, and I'm sure women are at the forefront just because in quote she voted or she was a front bearer for Tinubu. So what I'm trying to drive at, and it's we can relate to it individually or separately, that women we have this habit of bringing ourselves down. If a woman is doing something positive, we hardly comment. But immediately we hear a rumor that somebody is doing something negative, we start spreading it around, and it really increases the stress that we give to that kind of person. God will help us.
Thank you very much. I think said something in respect of that. We need more of sensitization and educating ourselves that empathy is actually something we all can learn. Women supporting women should not just be by words of mouth, but also in deed. Thank you very much. I want to hand over the mic to the Fida chairperson to quickly. Oh, there's a question. Sorry. I didn't get it.
Thank you very much to all the speakers for those wonderful sessions. My question is directed at Dr. Ajiboye. I can use myself as an example. I am somewhat proactive. So because of that, if I have like a list of work, I get all of them done. It's so bad that if I sleep, I can keep waking up every hour. Like I'll be remembering the work. Sometimes I'll suddenly wake up by 12 a.m. because I know that I have something from the day before that I've not done. And if I say that I should not do like whatever I have to do, I'll still be stressed. And if I do it, I'll do it under prayer. So how can I cope with that?
Thank you very much. You have a strength. Please celebrate God for that. You are proactive. That's a good one. But just now to manage it. Okay? Because that would, knowing that you are proactive, that's positive. Now, for you to manage yourself. Now, that's what we call scale of preference. Okay? Which I believe everybody passed through in secondary school. Now, set your priorities. Okay? And if you know that writing this and this and this will make you to be nervous, why can't you start with one? They said the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Do that one very well. Then putting 4 things in your front, anxiety about the 4 things may not make you to do one. But if you do one thing completely and you are done, go to the next. Then I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Just looking at what you are going to do with them may even bring anxiety. But after some time, you see yourself graduating. You can bring 3 tasks together at a time. But you didn't start that way. You started small. Okay? So what I will advise is that just start little by little. Those things you want to do, if it's only one, you can achieve. For example, now a child is crawling, and we want to say because everybody should be fast, and we are making him to run. So that's different. The leg will be affected. So start from where you are, okay? Because you already have a skill. It's not all of us that are proactive, okay? You are making decisions, you are taking steps. So please, don't look down on, don't be that proactive. Because some people, because of that, when they are stressed, they said, this proactiveness, let me keep it aside. Because you won't regret it in the future. I said, I shouldn't be here. I'm this, I'm this. So why am I here? So please keep it up, but peacefully, little by little.
Thank you. I think you are okay. Thank you very much on behalf of Fida Ekiti. Please let's be fast about it. There's another plenary session.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for this great opportunity. This is about me. Okay, about letting go when people offend you and stuff like that. I find it difficult to let go, and it's after some time, like I was later diagnosed of asthma due to seizures and various things, and I've been trying as much as possible to let go of things, but it's not working. So what will you advise that I do? Thank you, ma'am.
I think Dr. Babalola should.
Okay. The first thing, let me start this way. Why should I let go? Where because if you don't know why you want to do something, you understand? Now, why should I let go? One, because of my health. Two, because of my inner peace. Write it black and white. Not that it's good to let go. That's not a good statement. That's a general statement. Okay? But the reason why I need to let go for me, the reason for mommy may be different. But for me, because psychotherapy is individual, the reason why I need to let go is that because of my health, and after God is health. In fact, if you are married, if you don't have health, the marriage will be affected. So after God, your health. A pastor cannot preach without his health. Okay? Now, when you see it as something that is very important, then because psychotherapy don't work in this setting most of the time, because we already condition our mind that it's not possible. And some people will say, I've seen somebody that say, psychotherapy, you know, they don't just see that something near. Now, when you come to psychotherapy and you don't know the benefit, it won't work. So when you know the benefit at, maybe you put it at your left hand, then whatever advice they give it to you, you take it. Now, those people that offended you, okay? Presently, how are they faring? They are enjoying their life. You understand things like that. Now, you now ask yourself, have I gone to meet them? For example, let me borrow an idea from the Bible. When your brother offends you, it's the offender that should come for pardon, Abi. But the instruction of our Maker is that go and meet him. It takes humility to do that. Why you are doing that is not because you are foolish. You are doing that because of those 2 points you wrote. Because of your health. Because if you don't go meet him, the repressed emotion, the unresolved conflict, they are still there. Because the person is enjoying his life, he doesn't know maybe you are okay? So please, there's nothing bad to meet somebody that offended us. To the life of this not immediately because there's anger. But when you have anger, just or you're not talking with a kind of sense. He said when they talk to people angry, count 1, 3, 5. Because Timothy revives, and I want to retaliate immediately. He's older. and they say something that will not be clear forever. Okay? So that's why when a situation is making you to be angry, just can't bend inside. Then after you are now settled within your mind, go and meet the person and resolve. Yeah, one more thing we unlike just handing it to your because it is not good to see the person. And if it's somebody, because I've been in a therapy whereby somebody is still nursing grudges about their person. So how do we resolve this? And that's why they have talked about self-love, self-care. The first thing is that can we just tell ourselves in this hall this morning, I love myself. Sorry. Let me three people that you love, my sister. Put your life that you love. Okay.
Me, myself, and I.
Because nobody like when we go for therapy, you say, I love my mother, I love my husband, and I love myself. You have to love yourself. And that person that has died, because of your own sin, let go. How will you let go? You can even bring you can talk to the person and put it down. Mention the person and you cry, roll on the floor, whatever. But if you have done all those and there's no solution, this is our advice. See somebody to help. You understand? That suggests on your own you cannot help yourself. So somebody can now help you, maybe with a talking cure or a psychotherapy.
Thank you, Doctor. In 1 minute, Dr. Babalola wants to say something. Let me just drop on the thank you, Dr. He said, let not your heart be troubled. That is the only thing on you to not allow your heart to be troubled. So even there are negative thoughts that will cross your mind, but you don't allow the negative thought in your mind. This is my hand. I choose to put my hand like this. If my hand cannot lift itself up. So when those thoughts are coming to your mind, for your own sake, not for the sake of the offender, he emphasized that. Are you with me? For your own sake, let it go. So each time it's coming to your mind, replace that negative thought. Let not your heart be troubled. There are troubles everywhere. Let not your heart be depressed. There are things that make you depressed. Don't allow it. Happiness is a choice. Thank you. Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of this plenary. On behalf of Fida Ekiti, I want to say a very big thank you to all our speakers. Please, a round of applause for them. Dr. Adibere, thank you very much for always. Dr. Babalola, that was a very firebrand presentation. You gave it up all. And Mr. David, thank you very much, ma'am, for always. And please send our regards to Professor Merino. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening.